All right, guys. It's going to be an incredible one this afternoon. Welcome on board. Today is a very special day. And we are here once again. Today is the 26th day of this 30 days journey. My name is Amaka. I am your host and convener of the Disruptive Parenting Summit. Disruptive Parenting Summit came as a necessity, particularly at this time, when it appears as though there is a conspiracy that the next generation must be shut out or be snuffed out. It appears as though there is a serious unleashing, or there's a serious contention. That's the word, contention against the next generation, such that whether they're at home or they're in school, sometimes whether they're even at the religious places, there's so much abuse going on. There's so much pain going on. There's so much, there's so much dysfunctionality going on. There's so much attack on them. And so even going to school, dropping off a child in school right now in the side of the world where we live, it almost like takes a prayer point to be sure that when you go picking up the child, that you still see the child healthy and well. And so sometimes, it's not sometimes, all the times it takes faith to believe that your child that went to school will come back. We have had all kinds of things. We have had children kidnapped from religious places. And so what do we do when caregivers have lost it? Like I wrote in my book, Disruptive Parenting, you have people who are in classroom. I call them accidental teachers. They are there because they have no other job. They couldn't find any other job. It's not like they are sent to the next generation. They are not groomers. They are not caregivers in the literal sense of it. They are there for the paycheck, and they are not even doing what they advertised. So we set out to do the Disruptive Parenting Summit because sometimes it appears that what we bring to the table, a number of people who need them are not able to fund them or pay for them. The other set of people also are people who, even when it comes free to them, they don't get it. They don't follow until their children become victims. To that end, I want to say thank you to every one of you who are joining and who are going to be joining in this session. Thank you to every one of you who love your children enough to get the knowledge that you require to groom them into champions and your kids into kings, right? So the Disruptive Parenting Project really is focused on the next generation. There's a king in every kid. I will always say there's a champion in every child. We must raise that king. We must raise that child, that champion. And there is a method to raising each one of them. They are first unique. They are made in God's image. We are caregivers. There are so many disruptions that we are bringing. Part of it is to disrupt all the things that have become like they are normal. You will have to call somebody to get a job, even when you qualify. You must soil your hand one way or another, such that if you are not quick to begin to do those things, your time as well is not wise. That's why the project. That's why the summit. We have set aside this summit to help you become the parent you should be. Partner with God. Understand your child. Understand the peculiarities of every child. Know who they are. Know who she is. Know who he is as an individual. And we've been doing that for the last 25 days. Once again, if you have been following us, you know that this particular session is coming at a different time. Our regular time has been 6 p.m. West African time. So tomorrow, we'll go back to 6 p.m. West African time. But this particular session with all things that I've heard and seen, is extremely important. That is a boy child that must be saved somewhere in your home, in your school, around your vicinity. There is a boy child that must get help. So today we are discussing parenting the boy child. And who else is most suited to take this topic than an apostle sent to the boy child? One who is a boy child, save the boy child advocate, and one who is who I consider as sent by God at this time, at this critical time. When we're used to raising our girls to become queens, to do well, to submit, and then they get to their homes and they submit to what? I need to understand. They submit to who? That's where a lot of marriages are crashing. Because whilst we raise the girl, we abandon the boy. And so him and his team, they are on it, ensuring that error must be corrected, such that in the next generation, we will not have a fatherless generation whilst their fathers are around. We will not have men who are figureheads, who are shouting, submit, when they have never seen in their own Bible submitting to one another. All right, so if you have not shared, please go ahead and share, because I'm sure that this session, everybody needs to hear it. If you have not liked our page, please like our page. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that every time we upload a video, you will be notified. Or when we come on like this, you'll be notified. And so I'm excited, I'm super excited to bring to us this moment, the boy coach himself. In fact, I'm sure that by this time, the boy coach has taken over his name, so that, a lot of people don't even know that he has a name. But he's Coach Ebuka, right? But in case you have not heard his name before, but it's okay to answer this brand name because it's destiny. Welcome on board, sir.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your commitment, your tenacity, your passion for this vision. And I don't know how you do it, how you push to see that this happen for 30 days. And you're on this mission, and this is 26th day. It only takes somebody who has a burden and a vision to be this committed and consistent. God bless you and continue to reward you.
Yeah, so go ahead.
All right. So thank you very much for having us. And we are going to be having a good time this afternoon, talking about the boy child, where, like you said, there's a lot just going on in our world, and we just need to act differently. We just need to act from the place of knowledge. We just need God's wisdom in this time to really help our boys grow well. And for me, each time I'm emboldened by this, I just keep remembering, the siege over the life of Moses and Jesus, where there was a decree that every male child should be killed, and even in our time, we are still seeing that playing out, where there's an attack on the male child. And for me, an attack on the male child is an attack on the family, because these are boys that will be fathers, husbands, leaders tomorrow. And if the head is cut off, what will the body do? The foundation is destroyed. What can the righteous do? So it's a serious attack on the family. It's a serious attack on the society. And that's why it's going to the family, and not just the family, to be those who are going to be the head of the home. And that's why having a lot of crisis in our home. I can't deny the fact that a lot of our men need to do more and need to do better. But if we want to trace down to where all that is coming from, it's a foundation. Because I tell people that a fool at 40 was first a fool at 18, at 14, at 20. So they didn't just jump to become a fool at 40. There was a foundational issue. It was long that, before it got to that stage. So because everybody is a product of their upbringing, nobody just from the sky like that. Any man, they all went through the process of being a boy, except Adam. All right, even Jesus, our perfect example, went through that process of being a boy. All right, so every man is a product of his upbringing. whatever you are as a boy is what you become as a man if care is not taken. So there's a lot going on, and that's how I can see that siege everywhere, every day. The deep issues all over the world today. You're on the internet, you hear this story before you think that is all. Another story is coming before you think that is all. Another one is coming. There's just been a serious attack on the boy child, a serious, serious attack, and most people are not even aware. Okay, it was just this year I saw what Disney said, that by the end of the year that at least half of their characters will be LGBT. We saw Superman came out and said his own too. Different people just attacking the male genders, looking for ways to, disorient them and distort their mind from the God ordained purpose. And we can see when that distraction, when that distortion, when that diversion is done, there's no way that man can live to fulfill purpose. Okay, so it's just been an attack from the media. It's just been a serious attack. I was in the Lagos State Government House 2 weeks ago when we were invited by the First Lady of Lagos State and the Day of the Boy Child. And I was hearing the controller of prisons in Lagos speaking about how a lot of people in the prison are boys and young men. And you keep hearing there's just been a pattern. For so many of them, they're disconnected from fathers, they're disconnected from a male figure, different issues. And I just keep wondering each time I go to those prisons, I say, why are these men here? Well, we're having thousands of men who should be at the peak of their career, feeling God's purpose, wasting in prison. Not just in prison, you go to drug rehabilitation homes, these boys that are few there. You go to cultism, there are boys few there. You go to fraud, there are boys few there. You go to armed robbery, you go to kidnap, you go to banditry, there are boys and young men. There are boys and young men everywhere. Armed robbery, what are they doing on the streets? And some people don't still understand that this is not ordinary, it's not normal. It's a strategy, it's an attack, it's a siege. And I can tell people, we cannot fight a battle we are not aware of. Some people don't even see it as anything. They think it's a child's play. But it's a serious attack, and the enemy is not joking at all. He's consistently fighting, he's consistently male misses out of God's purpose. And we can see the devastation in the society because of that disorder. This is just what we're seeing. What will happen in the next 10, 20 years if we don't rise up to action? If we don't rise up, we were in some schools last year for a project, and all the principals were talking about how so many boys were losing interest in school, how they were dropping academically, how a lot of them don't see school as anything, it's a scam to them. So that's the mindset a lot of our boys are carrying. And for me, it's not ordinary. It's a siege, it's an attack on the family, it's an attack on the future. And if we do nothing about it, we'll just let life will just keep going like that. And before we know, we are gone. It was Jonathan Edwards that said that if our boys are not equipped to lead families, then the families of the next generation will have no leaders. And it's just so unfortunate, and we're seeing a lot of that in our society. Gross irresponsibility when it comes to men and boys. Disconnected from their parents, especially their fathers. Boys are lacking male role model, even our mothers that are available. I really feel for women who are really have to go through the pain of doing the work of a man and a woman. And they try to do that. A lot of them have even oh, my son, my only son, my only son. A lot of them have, in a way, disconnected responsibility from them. And by the time they discover what is happening, they have a boy who is not ready to take responsibility for his life. And that just transits into adulthood like that. And so we're having a lot of men who don't want to take responsibility for life, who just want to have an entitlement mentality, just sit down and let things just work for them. So the first thing I always ask people, are we even aware of the battles we are fighting? I think see some boys or families who still know the agenda of Disney and some of these people, and they are still watching and exposing our boys to it. Every comment, everything out there is disorienting the mind of me. I'm not a fan of those people who do comedy in the name of turning to a woman and doing comedy. I'm not a fan of that, because for me, it's a disorder. It's a disorder. The more boys keep looking at this, the more they feel it's normal and it's okay. The enemy has been just so strategic, and it's so unfortunate that those of us that should be the light, we're not aware of what is happening. I was at the conference a few weeks ago, and I was just shocked at the level at which so many boys are just so engrossed in games. And over 80% of the boys tell me how they sleep by 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., playing games. They just see life as, oh, it's an entitlement, it's so easy, and no problem, we're missing responsibility from raising our boys. And that's the first thing I ask people, are we aware of the battle? Are we aware that the same way the enemy wants to ruin the life of many of Jesus and Moses in that time, kill every male child, the same thing is happening in our time. So many boys are in their home, deeply involved in cultism, drugs, all manner. Parents are not even aware. Until you discover that your child is in the police station or he's now in transgender. I've had several experiences or instances. Are we even aware of the battle we are fighting? They're not even aware. Sometimes we are so passionate. I know what I see every day from counseling in our academy for boys. I know what I see and hear every day. Every day, so unfortunate. 2 days ago, a boy called me and said, so I'm having nocturnal emission, which is wet dream. My father says it's a bad thing. What should I do? I said, and that's not the first time I'm hearing boys ask such questions. Fathers don't even know what is happening. We have a lot of expectation over boys that we have not trained. We just want them to turn out where we are not teaching sex education, we're not having conversation. They're going through puberty, having erections and crushes. Nobody's talking. They're saying that the boys even having nocturnal emission, which is natural, spontaneous and involuntary release of semen while they are asleep. And the father says it's a bad thing. So if I was not there to guide the boy now, he will be depressed. Or we're going to ask questions from the wrong source. And they will tell him something different. They're not having conversation. For me, I feel our boys are really disadvantaged. I think we have not been fair to the boys in our generation because we just expect them to grow to become a man without being guided, without being taught responsibility, without being equipped. We just expect they'll grow and turn out well, just like that. So these and many more are the issues going on in our time for our boys. And I tell so many parents, we are digital migrants, we are not digital natives. So we don't even understand what is happening now in our world. It's a difficult time. The internet has not, has a lot of advantage and disadvantage. The social media have not really done us so well. What is happening and trending every day is alarming. It's alarming. Are we having strategic conversation? Are we teaching? Are we opening up avenues and opportunities for them to learn and be equipped? Each time we finish our boys' academy, I see boys who are like, God, I'm just hearing this thing for the first time. I see last month we had a meeting with a group in US, and a father called me after the program. I said, all these things you're saying have been happening to my boys. My boy, I didn't even know. And he said, I took my boy to a psychiatric home thinking it's abnormal. I never knew he was going through puberty. I spent a lot of money with a psychiatric consultant. I didn't knew. He said, I just played, I got my son to watch it, and he started crying after. I said, this is all that's happening to me. You're just taking me all there, and I was depressed. Lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. And are we open to learning and equipping ourselves? I just wanted to establish that background that a lot is going on with our boys. A lot is going on. I don't want to go to statistics of pornography and what is happening. That have shown that over 70% of those who use pornography are males. And it's alarming what this company rather is doing to lure our children. Now they've left teenagers, now children, especially since the pandemic. The target is so bad. Are we even aware of the battle we are fighting? So as we talk about raising these boys in the 21st century, what do we need to do? What do we need to learn? What do we need to do to ensure that we help our children early and they are not lost? And they are not lost. Early. Went to school sometimes, I think the last day, and I was talking to the budding students, and I have a lot of mentees from that school that are really, really struggling. It's a school where they even celebrate Pride Month, LGBT Month in the hostel, where they do masturbation competition every night for children of 11 to 12 years, where they, I've heard terrible reports. So the school invited one of the top schools in Abuja. And when I was talking in that meeting, they said, "Oh, you don't need to tell them about this thing. You don't mention it. These are innocent children." I said, "They're not innocent." I said, in Abuja, I said, this school have had worst cases from here. So we just live in denial. I said, school that they celebrate LGBT months in your hostels, school that they lure 11 years old for masturbation competition every night, and all manner of issues I've gotten from the school. I have a lot of mentees there in my academy. I said, we live in denial. Are we aware of the battle we are fighting? There's no way We can fight when we are not even aware. If you're not aware there's this problem, there's no need for one to really, handle that issue. So there's a problem. So I'm just establishing that foundation. Our boys are lacking male role models. That is the challenge we are having. Male role models, a lot of men are broken. They have been a cycle of vicious and broken men. Because I keep asking ourselves, the men we are asking to even help the boys, do they even understand what it means to be a man? A lot of them are broken. A lot of them are disoriented. A lot of them, lack understanding. So unfortunate. And I just keep saying, God, how do we break this vicious cycle? And that's why I'm going to work on the boys. Because there are some men, and no matter how you call them and talk to them, they're already fixated. They're already strong-hearted, and they're not ready to learn. How do we help our boys? Each time I have programs, that's questions boys keep asking. I say, forget my father. I've seen boys say, I feel like killing my father. I see women who are suffering the hands of broken men. How do we help? And for me, it's helping our boys, helping them to just gather strength to go through this time, irrespective of what they are facing. I'm mentoring, like my mentoring session are so full. I have a lot of parents on the waiting list. How many can I mentor? Single parents who are really, struggling. I don't blame them. Single mothers, there's a limit to which you can do as a woman. There's a limit to which you can do as a woman. Because you don't have erection, you don't have a penis, you don't go to nurture emission. You don't know what it means for boys to go through crushes. There's a limit to which they can do. They're just, we're overwhelmed because of the need. So there's a challenge of lack of role modeling. There's a challenge of family crisis, the broken homes and issues we are having, violent and toxic men all over the families and houses. And the boys are, what do they even want to learn? Because the same thing they want to, the more they keep looking at that man, before they act the same way, because what they behold is what they become. They're the product of their upbringing. So that's a challenge our boys are facing. No role model, family crisis, deep issues in the society. All that is trending on social media where people, transgenders are celebrated, boys, young men who are smoking, celebrities who are promiscuous, they are the ones celebrated, shows that people are so dirty and nude are the ones being celebrated. They're the ones having millions of followers. And our boys are really confused. Some governors invite these people who we know that they don't have a life. Drug addicts. And so some boys keep asking, so what are you asking us to do? When these people who are terrible are the ones that are having millions of followers, buying cars every day, being invited everywhere. There's a confusion going on. It's so unfortunate our society celebrates mediocrity. So it becomes difficult. That is the challenge. They are struggling. What is happening on social media? Understand the challenge of social media and trends. They're asking, what are they asking us to do? When the world celebrates nudity, mediocrity, evil, people who come out and smoke on social media are the ones that are celebrated. Some parents even follow them, like them, and play their songs. And yet we want our songs to turn out well. So before I even say, what do we need to do? I'm even presenting the challenges that we are facing. Those are having challenges of sexuality. We celebrate people who are sexually promiscuous. We celebrate people who have distorted sexual orientation. Follow them. We laugh at their show. We are happy. We are the ones bankrolling the devil. Our boys are confused. Our boys are really confused. Those are the challenges a lot of boys are facing at that. Boys are having the challenge of puberty. I've talked about role model, I've talked about trends, I've talked about sexuality, and last time I'm talking about puberty. Our boys are having challenges of puberty. I tell people, while I was praying, I said, God, how can I explain puberty to people? And God said, use the concept of pregnancy to explain puberty. When a woman is pregnant, there are some things you don't, you may not have control on how your body will really change. You can't say you're pregnant, oh, my stomach will not get big, let it just be flat. I will give birth with flat stomach. Sometimes you can't control your nose, it's just getting big. Some people can't control their vomiting, the changes that happen in your body. Sometimes your emotions are just, you can't understand. They are off, they are on, because of the physiological hormonal changes in the body. And God said that is how puberty works. A lot of changes in the body that just the way those pregnant women need care, need attention, need a special diet, need all the answers they need to their questions so that they can stay till full term and give birth and not miscarry and not give birth prematurely. See, so many boys are miscarrying their destiny and they're giving birth prematurely because they've not grown to full term. At that process of puberty where they should be guided and instructed, nobody's instructing them. They're overwhelmed with emotions of sexuality, of urges. In my mentoring session last month, we were talking about crushes. So I have a larger number of boys between the ages of 8 to 12. And one day I had the body to talk to them about crushes. And out of 28 of them, 26 said they've had crushes. So when I had evaluation with the parents, I said, these things are happening. We're having 7 years, 8 years having crushes. They've not seen, there's no demon following them. It's the changes. But then we were having conversations. So they could come and say, sir, I saw this girl in my class. I had a crush on her. Oh, I said, this is what you should do. You then talk to the person. And they can call me almost every day. I see their messages. This is one of them call me, he's 10. And he said, I had a crush, but you told me not to tell the girl, and I've been working on myself, and I'm better. But when I told one of my friends, I now went and told the girl, what should I do? They have a place where they could ask questions. We just live in denial. They are going through times where they have money erection, urges, sexual urges, feelings. We are not asking, we are not teaching them, we're not saying anything. Yeah, they are curious about it, but when they want to explore, they are not saying anything. We just want them to turn out well. We have conversations. Challenges of puberty. A lot of our boys are overwhelmed. We take care of pregnant women and want them to go full time, but we don't take care of our boys who are going through hormonal changes of puberty. The research have shown that apart from the first year of birth, that puberty is the time where the body goes through the highest form of change. Changes is the period of sexual maturation, changes upon changes, and not just physical, emotional, psychological, social, sexual changes on the inside that a lot of boys can't fathom how they feel at that time. They are full of energy, aggression, and a lot of things because they can't understand how to channel this energy. They're having those challenges. We are not having conversation. And that's why they want to explore. And they go to join court, they go to the street, they go to smoke because they're looking for a way to unleash energy. They're looking for answers to the questions that the home is not answering. We're losing our boys, and we're losing our generation. We will lose our boys because we're losing fathers who will be the leaders of the next generation. So these are many more the changes, and you can see a lot of boys having now identity crisis because of that. And suicide is high among men, low academic performance, mental health issues, confusion, juvenile home and rehab home filled with boys, addictions of every kind because of the issue. These are stemming from these challenges they are going through. Most parents now say, hey, my son is 18. He's not a daughter, that is, hey, so somebody follow me from the village. No, he might have been going through that since he was 10. But we overlook and we think all is well. I tell parents, quietness is not a fruit of the spirit. Oh, there's quiet and he's only in his room with his laptop. Does not mean he's okay. That's not how to measure responsibility. Oh, he's only quiet. Oh, he doesn't talk to people. Oh, good. Oh, let's forget about that. What do we now need to do? How do we raise our boys in this time? How? And for me, the major things I've been telling people is to build a supportive family system that has opportunities and limits. One that is embedded in responsibility. I tell people that you can't separate responsibility from boys, from manhood. Once that is separated, you just have a feminized boy. You just have an irresponsible man. And I see mothers, a lot of mothers do that because they just want to. There's a connection between mothers and sons. And then because most of the fathers are not even around for the girls, so the mothers, they say, oh, my son, hey, go and sit down. Oh, it's okay now. Let him play. Don't beat him. You are the heir to the throne. Kiniko. And we just raise the responsible boys. You can't do anything. Go and sit down now. If you cannot cook, go. I was in a conference. Now, one boy asked a question and say his father told him, always tell him to get out of the kitchen. I feel so bad about it. It's a lot of irresponsibility. If your boy beat you now, he's a boy, just leave him. No, boys will be boys. Each time I talk in programs like this, Each time I talk in program like this, a lot of parents, a lot of somebody saying something to me. Okay. A lot of parents say, thank you, I'm just knowing this thing for the first time. I think I need to pay more attention to our boys. When we separate the responsibility from boys, we are just building men that are irresponsible. And I tell people, an unskilled child will frustrate you. An irresponsible boy will frustrate you. Will frustrate you. It will frustrate you down to when they are married. You still be having frustrations because your daughter-in-law will keep reporting and keep reporting. You keep settling issues to Jesus comes. We was irresponsible. And I tell parents, what opportunities are you creating? What structure are you creating at home to help boys build? I see parents say, oh, my son cannot wake up to go to school. You only misses his school bus, and I have to pay give you money to go for what? That's gross irresponsibility. I see parents who say wash their boys' clothes as teenagers, and they dress their room for them, they wash this thing for them for what? Like for what? That is gross irresponsibility. I will just be raising an unskilled child that will end up frustrating you. How can we begin to raise our boys? Creating a supportive family system or a supportive family structure that has opportunities and limits. Have a structure. This is what you should do. At this time, I say, parents, my son doesn't sleep till 1, no, he's always watching movies. I say, how can you have your son is in secondary school and he still has his game on, out during when school is in session? Why is it more than you? You can't dismantle the games until he's on holiday. And he has to stay awake till 1, 2. I don't know what to do. We're talking, you know what is happening is that most parents have missed out to the place of building a responsibility when they are younger. And so when they now get to adolescent, they're now seeing the ills and you want to correct it, but because they already formed a knot, they resist it. They resist it vehemently because you're trying to tell them to do something that you've not, raised them with. They still want to be pampered. They still want to do what they want to do. The responsibility, if you separate that from a boy, I'm talking about boys from 4, 5, 6 years, teaching them responsibility, taking care of their things and themselves. Not that you go to boarding school and come back, all your things are missing because mommy will buy another set for you. They'll just grow up being entitled and just want everything to happen. Responsibility, create a structure. I say you can't take that away. Structure. What do you do? This and then this time. Oh, you must be ready by this and this time. What are your chores? Oh, you can't eat. I tell parents, your son should not be eating a breakfast when he has not done his chores. For what? Why should he eat when the place is still messed up? Do your chores before you eat. That's one of the principles in my house. You do your morning chores before we eat. Why are we cooking when the house is dirty? Responsibility. No structure. Okay, he comes back from school. What time to this time? He's reading at this time. He's sleeping at this time. What if he needs to watch this? What time to what time? If you need to give him a phone, what time to what time? If there's no structure, we can't raise boys in a vague. We don't raise boys in just he should know or by just mouth. I tell parents, draw the structure. Everybody should see, agree, both of you. What are the consequences to this structure? If you disobey or if you miss out, what are the consequences? Create opportunities and limits. Consequence, discipline that work. Not that anything goes, oh, okay, you didn't wash your this and this, okay, no problem now. You cannot do this. Oh, you didn't clean the house today, okay. Try and clean tomorrow, okay. No. If you remove responsibility from raising boys, you just have an entitled boy who will frustrate you in adolescence. And then boys are frustrating their parents already because they had the wrong foundation. Do we have structures, a family structure that has opportunities and boundaries, opportunities and limits? Or you can't go out and come back at this time. If you do that, this is what happens. Or if you don't sweep at this time, you can't eat. If you miss your school bus, you sit down at home and pick a goosey. What are the structures? What are the disciplines? What are the consequences? So that not say, oh, you miss, you can go now. You will keep sleeping and wake up every day because you give him money for Uber or take away. You don't do that. How are we raising our boys? I'll say 2 more things. the structures that work. There's so many things I could say, but I don't want to say so much. I say information and relevant conversations. And that's where the place of knowledge is key. I tell parents that knowledge will give you rest. Knowing what your son is going through and the power of first mention. Most boys hear about puberty, about masturbation, about wet dreams from outside. And if you go to the internet and ask about masturbation, the internet said it's okay for boys to masturbate. It helps them to ease pressure. Some will even tell you it's good 3 times a week. So if your boy is seeing that for the first time on the internet, or he's hearing it from his friends, he's 12, let's not say it so that he will not be curious. Oh, something they discuss at 10, at 8 in school, they must know what is age. I tell people, and gone are those days, they say 12 years old boy doesn't know anything. The more we are advancing in technology, the lower we need to keep going down in exposing them to some things early with appropriate information and the right words. Before a 12 years old boy, we hardly be found in pornography. But since the pandemic, I handled cases of pornography for boys between the ages of 8 and 12. So we must know that times are changing, and so we must evolve in our learning. Evolve in our learning, have relevant conversations and information. And that's why in our academy, and what you do, you are training parents. We train parents on how to have self-conversation. We also have time where we teach boys on that. All right, they know. The boys know. In academy, not just the boys, the parents are also trained to have conversation. Relevant conversation. Your boy is 12 and you have not had conversation on LGBTQ, on homosexuality, on drugs, on porn literacy. What are you saying then? I hear some parents that say, my mother says, yeah, my husband is shy of teaching our boys on sex education. He's shy. I say, is he shy to call penis or shy to call sperm? Which one exactly? But he has it and he can use it and he's shy to now teach his son about that. I see boys who their mothers even do their first shaving because if one doesn't know how to shave, what is, it's so bad. I pity for the women trying to do the work of a man and a woman. We must do more. Relevant conversation periodically, from sex education to crushes to erection to feelings to LGBT to porn literacy to puberty and the brain. Puberty, how it affects even academic learning, because at that time they want to have a lot of energy, they want to flex, they want to read. Relevant conversations. Do we have that with our boys? Are we evolving in our learning? Are we open to learning? Are we learning on learning and relearning? I have a lot of parenting books. I'm in a parenting training, defense and learning. It's not easy. There's just not many boys around me. I have a lot of men around me. Most of the boys around me, I even past the age of it. So it's a lot of work. You have to keep learning. You have to keep evolving. You just have to keep evolving, knowing that a lot is going on in their world. I can't just deceive myself about that. Or die of hypertension. I say, oh, I'm just, a lot is going on. Have relevant conversations. Do your work as a parent. Evolve. I've read books upon books upon books on fatherhood and raising boys. Books upon books. Evolving. Psychology of boys and raising boys. The emotion, developmental stages of boys, the emotions of boys. Evolving in our learning. Are we having that? I think that is very, very key if we must raise our boys in our 21st century. All right? And let me say one more thing as I try to close, and that is skills and strategies. Do you have skills and strategies we need in conversation, in learning? One of those where we use old methods, because I tell parents, in our time, we don't have TikTok now. We don't have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. We don't have all those things now. 20 years ago, say, oh, in our time, this. But their times are different. Do you have TikTok in our time? Do you have Instagram? Were they doing Snapchat in 1960 or 1980? It's a different world. Or in that time, where every advert was showing a naked woman, things have changed. Things are becoming more difficult. And that's why the Bible says, where sin abound, much more grace abound. So they need more avenues of grace, of learning. Because it's a difficult time. Every song is promoting nudity, either the bump of shaking, showing where a woman is used as a sex object. That is what they keep feeding, and what they're exposed to is what they become. What they behold is what they become. So it's a tough and difficult time. Difficult time. Are we evolving in our learning? Are we applying skills and strategies? Knowing that it can be a difficult time, what skills do I need? What strategies do I need? How do I imbibe skills? Social skills, travel skills, emotional skills, doing chores, emotional intelligence, executive function skills. How do I imbibe it in our children? How am I exposing them to learning, to places where they can learn? How am I also evolving and learning myself to know how to apply these skills? I tell people what's a conversation with boys. It's not the old method of, the family, everybody come and sit down. You did this one yesterday. If you do that again, do you see that this girl get pregnant? If you touch girl, you get pregnant. Oh, no. Those are babash. I was talking to some teenagers that day, one day about pregnancy. Say, so who threatens people with pregnancy? Say, na mumu de get belly. That is the stage where they are. Where they are different. We are past that stage. Some people will say, don't have sex. Boys these days, they're talking about sex position, no matter of. They've passed that level of don't have sex. They're talking about big, as in, we need to have conversations skillfully. Parents are not on social media, so you need to be there to know what is happening, and those are pointers to conversation. These are avenues. Those are openings to have conversations. Or what is trending, or this, and they're able to talk, and they're able to really evolve in that, because you have knowledge. Our boys know whether we have knowledge and when we don't. How are we effectively raising our boys in this time? There's so many things I could talk about, but I know our time is fast spent. So I'll just give room for one or two questions. Thank you very much.
Wow. So much within a short time. Guys, how are we raising our boys? Ignorance is no longer an excuse. when you say that they say that mude get belle. But that's the way they think. Because some of the things that you think that they don't know now, they probably knew 6 years ago. And so in your head, it's too early. That's why you need coaches. Sometimes because you were not taught as a child or as a preteen or a teenager, you don't know how to start or jumpstart the conversation. So the first thing to do is to accept that you have a need for that conversation. Then reach out and get help. We cannot overemphasize this reach out and get help. Because even every one of us that are coaches, we are constant learners. I call myself a student of life. We are always reading, always researching, always learning. All right? But you cannot just say the way they did me. My father that, my mother that. We have discussed those generational things. So if you missed it, check the previous videos. You will find how to understand their generation. Because if you understand what's going on in their mind, it will help you to know how to engage them in conversation. All right? So there's no wisdom in thinking that they don't know. They know. Settle it that they know. Sometimes they know more than you know in certain areas. All right? So it's important that we take advantage of these kind of opportunities. Learn, ask relevant questions. In fact, ask any question, because every question is valid. Once you are in a class like this, every question is valid. Okay? Ask questions that would help you. If you don't know how to use open-ended questions, you need a coach. It's not something that you can be taught in 30 minutes or for 5 minutes like this. If you don't know how to use open-ended questions, and every parent, every caregiver needs to know how to effectively engage that strategy. I've said it every now and again. You will not have too much information. If you ask your children the question that the answer is yes, no. You have to ask questions that will make them to engage. And you must create an avenue that is secured, that they are relaxed about, that is convenient, that they are not threatened, they're not going to be judged. How do you do that? You need a session yourself. Unfortunately, we do not prioritize. We have our priorities wrong. Some of us, that's why yesterday's session I was asking us, what have you taken away thus far in this session? What have you written down? What are you going to be doing differently? Because it's more than, wow, the class was mind-blowing. Wow, it was very impactful. What exactly impacted? Like here now, in this session, you need to write down 3 things you're taking away. What are you going to do about those 3 things? How are you going to do them differently? How have you been doing them? All right? So please take that note, all right? It will help you. I want to use the chat section and send your thank you message to the boys coach. I appreciate him. Give him a big God bless you. And, you know, just make him know that we love him, we appreciate his family. Thank you so much, sir. 1 minute, please let us know. You have mentioned you have coaching sessions, you have classes, your mentoring session. I know you have a book also. I don't know if there are more than one now, but I know you have one.
Yes, I have one, yeah.
Yeah. So please let us know how to reach you. In case that people here want to reach you.
Okay. So my official handle is Save the Boys Initiative on any social media handle at all. But personally, on Instagram, people can reach me, Ebuka_boyscoach, because our official handle is majorly a humanitarian organization, but we have a boys leadership academy, and details are always on my personal page. Ebuka_boyscoach, Ebuka_boyscoach. Okay, and you'll just see it on my. You will see it on my name now. And so on Instagram, they can reach me, my Facebook. So that is my name there, Ebuka_boyscoach on Instagram. LinkedIn, I'm there. Facebook, I'm there. Ebuka there. You can search on any of our social media handles. If you go and you get across to our admin, they will be able to reach out to me. And then our books are here in Abuja and some other cities across Nigeria. Can also be gotten online. So anyone that wants to get, just check our handles and you'll be able to get details on how to get them. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Coach. Thank you for making this huge sacrifice to be here today. God bless you. Really good. Someone said, want to read it. Someone said, thank you, dear boys coach. You are exactly what this generation needs. And I concur.
Thank you so much, man.
You're mentoring people to do what you're doing, because the job is huge. The job is huge.
It is.
You know. But we're praying for you, and we trust that the grace will daily be multiplied for the job that is ahead of you. Once again, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you. Good. God bless you. Have a blessed day too.
All right, sir. All right, so guys, let me remind us that follow up to that, we have the Disruptive Fatherhood course coming up in a short time. The banner and the information is on our Telegram group. You can reach out to me one-on-one if you want to join that class. Disruptive Fatherhood, right? Thank you, Mama Ini. So glad to have you here. Appreciate you. God bless you. Really good. And congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. I want to see your face. Your video is not on. Guys, shout out to my very own Mama Ini today.
What are you congratulating for?
Congratulations to you, Ma. Today is her first son's birthday. And if you have not picked up her book, you need to pick up her book. Mama Ini, what's the name again? What's the name of your parenting book?
Parenting intelligence. Parenting
Good.
intelligence.
Parenting intelligence. You
Exactly
need to go and pick up that book, right? Because she shared her story there. She shared her personal story. She shared her journey of waiting. You need to read it. Particularly if you're a woman or you're a man or you and your spouse, you are yet waiting. You've been married for a couple of times or a couple of years and you've been trusted. You withdraw the energy that you needed to be like Job that said, all the days of my appointed time shall I wait until my change comes. Today we celebrate her and we'll celebrate the first, the one that opened the metrics, her first son, whose birthday is today. And so we celebrate her today. God showed up for her after years of waiting. It's not like it's today many years ago. He was a teenager. Now, how many years is he now, Mama?
He's
Sorry?
18.
He's 18 years. So God eventually showed up 18 years ago about this time.
Yes.
And God has also put her on that journey, and she has journeyed into raising those two boys. Incredible young men. You will love them when you see them. I can tell you for free, right? And I'm in their life. So your head must be working if you want to be our daughter-in-law. So if you have our daughter-in-law in your home, that's why we are doing this training, you know. That's part of why. Because we are not sure. Right now, we are still praying. So we must pray their head to take prayer, like we say in our second. He's laughing. Okay, we are online. Anyways, one more. I mean it might look like we are joking, but it's not a joke. Whether it's would-be son-in-law or would-be daughter-in-law, their head must take prayer.
Yes.
So we are making these sacrifices now and training so that in case their wife or their daughter is your home, say you said your head will take prayer so they begin to do right. So your son or your daughter will be ready by the time our own children are ready.
Yes.
All right. Like I will always, no child is safe until every child is safe.
Yeah.
No child is secured until every child is secured. So please let's pay attention to these children. Again, if you have not just like that class, don't come and send me a DM and say it is expensive. Right now, it's heavily discounted and it has a date on it. By the end of this month, the price will go up. Eventually, by the time all of the discounts are exhausted, the price will be 25K. And you know me. When we started Disruptive Parenting Academy, the first session was free. But people thought that we don't mean it. Right now, Disruptive Parenting Academy is 75,000. Because we know the quality of work that is there. We are sure of the transformation that you will get once you sign in, right? Not to worry, within this period, we have a little discount for you. And once the period is over, price goes up. All right? So take advantage of all of this information and please get the help that you need. One more thing. If you are somewhere around Lagos Island, Ikoyi, Lekki, VI, please join me at 6 p.m. this evening at Eco Hotel. Let's hang out. You will get the opportunity of my personally autographing your own copy of the Disruptive Parenting book. Let's just connect, right? I'll be excited to be great to see you, really. So thank you guys for joining in. Make sure that you share, and share. Make sure also that you hit the subscribe button and like this. In fact, do I need to remind you to like this video? Then turn on the notification bell such that every time we come on, you'll be notified. Have a very beautiful afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember the time for the sessions is 6 p.m., but we had to adjust this time to be able to get the value that we have gotten for this. And please, when you see the boys coach, help us know that we love him. Tell him that we love him. I know a couple of things that he had to, a couple of sacrifices that he had to make to be here. He has to take someone who is sent by God to do it. Let him know that we love him and we appreciate him. All right? Have a lovely afternoon. See you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Mama.